Good morning and welcome to your Daily Sparks. You know, by the end of July 1941, Auschwitz was working like a well-organised killing machine, and the Nazis congratulated themselves on their efficiency. But the only problem was the occasional prisoner from the work campsite. They had a death campsite and a work campsite. Occasionally someone from the work campsite would escape. Now these escapees, when they were caught, were usually hung with special nooses and slowly choked out of their miserable lives. And it was a grave warning. It was done publicly in front of the other prisoners as a warning, so that they might not be tempted to escape. Well, one July night, as frogs and insects in the marshy land surrounding the camp began their evening chorus, the air was filled suddenly with the baying of dogs, the cursing of soldiers, and the riding of motorbikes. A man had escaped Barracks 14. The next morning there was a peculiar tension as the ranks of phantom thin prisoners, starving to death there, they lined up for morning roll call in the central square, and their eyes were on the large gallows in front of them. But there was no condemned man standing there, no hands kept behind his back, no face bloodied by blows and dog bites. This meant the prisoner had made it out of Auschwitz and had escaped the death camp. Well, soon the Nazis in reprisal had lined up 10 men, 10 numbers per person. So one guy escaped, they're going to murder 10 people. And they'd chosen them. And one guy was groaning and sweating. He said, "My poor wife, my poor children, what will they do?" Well, suddenly there was a commotion in the ranks. And a prisoner had broken out of the line calling for the commandant. The prisoner, the prison just gasped because they knew who this guy was. He was a priest. And he had shared his last crust of bread with some starving people. They knew he was someone who comforted the dying. And they heard the confessions. He heard their confessions and nourished their soul and encouraged them in this horrible place. Well, the frail priest spoke softly, even calmly, to their Nazi overlords, and he said, "I would like to die in the place of one of the men that you have condemned." "Why?" snapped the commandant. He said, "Because I am an old man, sir, and good for nothing. My life will serve no purpose." His ploy triggered the response of Kolbe, the commandant there, who said, "In whose place do you want to die?" And he said, "In that one." Kolbe was the priest. And he said that one, and he pointed to the man who was weeping for his children and his wife. So Kolbe sat in place on the death ledger. His name was there. And he wasn't looking for gratitude, the priest. He was looking to lay his life down for another in fulfillment of what Jesus said, "Greater love hath no man than this, than he lay down his life for his friend." And as they were led off into the basement and prepared for their execution, he went with them, and this one man was saved. So coming out of the death box, those outside heard the faint sounds of singing. For this time the prisoners had a shepherd to lead them gently through the valley of the shadow of death into the arms of the Almighty, pointing them towards the great shepherd. And perhaps that was the reason that Father Kolbe was the last to die. He saw the others die first. For those who have eyes to see, it points to the man who laid his life down for us. This priest laid his life down, and so Jesus laid his life down for us. And we should lay our lives down as we live our lives for those around us. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow on Sparks.